How's it? I'm Christo. Welcome to Diamond Cornerstone. Yes, today I'm going to have a look at what prevents the diamond from working. Now, I've been staring at this diamond literally now for 23 years, and it's gone from gray to red to green to blue. But in the classic gray diamond, uh, well, it's all about how we think. So it's built in that politics rules economics. Economics basically gets implemented into the physical environment. And from an implementation and an assessment, you can reflect, and this actually changes society. So, right at the beginning here, I had a mentor, and she asked me, so where does the diamond not work? And off the bat, off the cuff, I basically answered large organizations which do not adjust or cannot change or have resistance to change, aka like education systems, political systems, political ideologies, where you're actually protecting the ideology over the actual movement of the diamond. And then I found it in a book that I read by a guy called Jared Diamond, ironically, where he spoke about the British or the English settlers in Australia are more British than the Brits themselves. And this I found funny because we're so caught up. So, what prevents the diamond from working is actually the social aspect of tradition, because tradition prevents you from reflecting and learning lessons and cutting character and adapting and changing. And adaptation, you'll see, is actually in the green diamond because we change. Life changes, seasons change, diets change. Uh, Life is constant flow, constant change. People say only thing consistent in life is birth, death, and taxes. But as soon as any of those things happen, things change. As soon as there's a birth into a family, believe me, everything changes. As soon as there's a death in a family, everything changes. As soon as taxes go up or taxes come down, things change. So we've got to learn to adapt, and tradition prevents that. So I think the first aspect that prevents the diamond from actually working is tradition. Holding on to outdated ideologies, outdated systems. We've got this whole debate in South Africa about going back to indigenous knowledge systems and throwing out colonialism because it's bad. But as soon as you throw out colonialism, you've got to throw out the effects of colonialism, which would include tar roads, sewage systems, electricity lines, vehicles, cell phones. You want to go back to indigenous knowledge systems, you're going to be left with fire and game and straw huts and it's unwise because then you're not competitive on a global stage, even a local market. You're going to have to throw out currency, just good old money. And that's where actually the second point comes in, is what stops the diamond from working. Now, the diamond in its essence is a fractal model, so it works from the smallest to the largest. But current, money, is representation of energy. So as soon as you steal energy out of the system through corruption, looting, blackmail, bribes, as soon as energy is taken out of the system loses swing. Now, I was listening to a previous conversation about a flywheel. It takes time to get the flywheel to turn, but once it's turning, then the business runs on autopilot. The engine runs automatically. The system will look after itself in a flywheel system. But as soon as you take energy out of it, whether the energy is heat energy, current electrical energy, what other kinds of energy do we have? Thermonuclear, gravitational, tidal, all these are energies. As soon as you take energy out of the system has to start looking for other forms of energy. Likewise, if you miss a meal or two, you've taken energy. Every day you're using up energy. That's why we eat. That's why we drink. That's why we breathe. to keep the energy levels high. Now, this is a closed system that needs energy to come in to feed it. So as soon as you take a governmental system or a country system or a community system and you remove energy. Now, same author in his book Collapse said, societies rise and fall as a result of enterprise. Could either be enemies coming in and destroying a certain aspect of your community, whether it be the military or the agricultural system or the economic system. That's an enemy from without, from an external enemy coming in. But internal thieves would be friends. If you lose trading partners, then you've got a lack of energy coming into the system. And then you obviously get corruption, and where people who should be allies, should be in harmony with the system, take bribes and backhand deals and we actually saw this. I never understand how a civil servant, a servant of society, of the civilization, gets rich being a government employee, because they're set on a fixed salary to serve society. The salary is there to cover their household needs. How someone who is a civil servant gets rich in civil society means literally they've received a bribe or a deal or a something. And AKA, that's where they're losing at least their loyalty is being bought, which immediately pushes the diamond into the wrong direction, into a kakistocracy, where an economic problem actually affects policy. And policy affects society, or politics affects society, and society pays and is held accountable for the economic decision of a single person or a single group. It's when the rich become richer and the poor just get poorer, because the poor are being held accountable for the economic political decision. It's socioeconomics, not political economics or eco-politicals, but now it's just semantics. So in essence, two things that prevent the diamond from working: tradition and the inability to change and adapt, and then the loss of energy. Either the loss of energy coming in through trade and economic exchange, or corruption / where energy is removed from the system to serve the few. Yeah, pretty intense, but I like the way how it shows the meritocracy of keeping it the right way around, as opposed to the kakistocracy, which is pushing it in the incorrect direction. And you can actually see the rise and fall of nations as soon as they start serving the ideology above the people. Then we're running into a kakistocracy. Whereas what's good for everyone, a tide lifts all ships. So meritocracy should be best for everyone, where everybody is paid as per the service they provide society at large. And that's where the exchange becomes willing buyer, willing seller. A man is blessed for selling his grain. But yeah, so the stone that was rejected by the builders will become the chief cornerstone, and I recommend we make that a diamond, and that is how we think. Blessings for the day.